Hey.
Divine alignment is incredible. It happens in every one of our lives.
Coincidences, chance encounters, or part of a bigger plan.
God is moving us along toward our destiny.
He's a former TV executive with Good Morning America. He also created the multiple award-winning Schoolhouse rock series. Since leaving television, he became a New York Times best-selling author with his When God Winks books. Now he's written a new book called Divine Alignment. SQuire Rushnell and his wife, Louise DuArt, who's a comedian and impersonator, well, they stopped by for a visit earlier. SQuire, Louise, oh, it's so good to have you guys here.
Governor?
You know, to go from a television network career to writing inspirational books, that's a big leap, man. How did that happen?
Well, I went from conjunction, junction, what's your function, to pray. Now, that is interesting.
That is a leap.
You know, all the time that I was at Good Morning America, I was always fascinated by those stories where the reporter would start out by saying, and ironically today, and I would perk up my ears because I thought this might be one of those things that we call a coincidence. But I always felt that there was more to coincidence than just coincidence. So when I started researching that and started talking about it and started writing the first book, I needed to come up with a new word. And I really prayed about that a lot. I talked to the Lord an awful lot about what word would be appropriate. And a little word called godwink came into my mind. Little G, one word like Godspeed, Godsend, Godwink. And I started using that to replace all of those words coincidence. And I found that it absolutely worked. And it became a new word in the language.
You know what I love about it? It sort of just reminds us that if we believe the Bible, that God knows how many hairs are on our head, which for me is much simpler than it used to be. And if God knows every sparrow that falls, then that means he's intimately involved in our lives. So some things we look around and we say, wow. It really isn't a wow moment. It is, as you would call it, a godwink moment.
Yes. And I love, the thing I like the best about having this as my job now is that godwinks are now a concrete connection between you and you and you and me and somebody up there. It's a concrete connection. Because when a godwink happens, you know it's special to you. And out of 6 billion people on the planet, it's a direct person-to-person message. Hey, kid, I'm thinking of you right now.
Well, one of the best godwinks that ever happened to you was meeting your lovely wife, Louise, who I think may be one of the most talented women in America. And we're going to absolutely insist that she introduced us to some of the people that you have to live with all day long. Louise, it's great having you here.
Oh, thanks, Governor. I did bring one of my favorites. He made us laugh for 100 years, George Burns.
I'm so happy to be here, Governor. I lived to be 100. When I was a boy, the Dead Sea was only sick.
You have made a wonderful career of making people laugh. You know what? We need more laughter. We need more fun in the world. Some people take everything too seriously. Would you introduce our audience to some of your favorite people and our favorite people?
Oh, I would love to.
Louise DuArt, everybody, please welcome her.
Well, I love doing impressions, but I even dream in impressions. I had a dream the other night that I actually got to go to the Academy Awards, and I was so excited because all my favorite stars were there from film and television. Got into this little backstage elevator, and all of a sudden the elevator doors got stuck.
Oh, gee, look, the elevator door's down open. Oh, Lord, we're all stuck in here and can't get out. Oh, gee, look at that Rosie O'Donnell. She's sucking all the air out of the elevator.
Can we talk it? Joe Rivers here. I gotta get out of this elevator. I got plastic surgery in an hour. My body is sagging so fast. I used to be at 34C, down to 34 long. Everyone just calm down. This is Jane Fonda. We're going to do some claustrophobic aerobics. I want you to stretch and burn and feel the pain. Let's get back to our original weight, 7 pounds, 6 ounces. You can do it. You can do it.
Oh, all this exercise is making me hungry. Ain't anybody got any food in this elevator?
I see food. It's right over there. It's in Bart Simpson's pocket. Give me that candy bar, you little rugrat.
Hey, man, nobody lay a finger on my butterfinger, man.
Marge Simpson, get over here and teach your child some manners.
Now, Bart, that's not very nice. Don't you think you should share with everyone in the elevator?
Yeah, don't you think I should... Oh, look who's over there. Hillary Rodham Clinton. Oh, Hillary, look at this. How do we get ourselves stuck in this pickle, I ask you? It's a vast right-wing conspiracy, Joan.
Oh, somebody gotta yell for help. How about you, Carol Burnett?
Me? Little old me?
Eunice, why don't you use that trap of yours for something useful and yell for help like they asked you to, girl?
All right, old lady, I will.
Hold it, everybody, hold it. You're not going to believe it, but it's me, the greatest star in the whole entire world, Barbara Streisand. And I got somebody in the emergency phone here. Hello, this is Babs. Who's this?
Hello, this is Dr. Ruth Westeiner. What is your problem?
Oh, Dr. Ruth, you got to get us out of this elevator.
I am sorry, Barbara, but I cannot.
Well, how come?
Because, you idiot, I'm standing right next to you.
I didn't see it down there, you little munchkin.
As the mayor of Munchkin City, I resent that. Oh, Monsieur Goodrich, what a band you here, we represent the lollipop girl, the lollipop girl, the lollipop girl.
Put up your dukes. I'll take it with 2 paws. I'll take it with 1 paw. I'll take it with my paws tied behind my back, because I am king of the forest. Who killed my sister?
What is she talking about?
I'll get you, my pretty. You're that mangy little dog, too.
Oh, that ain't no dog. That's my daughter, Gloria. Olive oil, don't you know anybody who can help us?
Oh, look, everybody, it's Popeye, our hero. He'll help us out, won't you, Popeye?
Well, sure, Olive Oil. I'll blow the doors down, because I am Popeye the Sailor Man. Woo, woo!
Oh, that is fantastic. Louise DuArt. Well, coming up, do you believe in chance encounters? You know, Squire thinks there's a lot more to them than just coincidence, and we'll continue our conversation about that when we come back. Stay with us. All right, we were talking about godwinks. God kind of winked with the two of you in a very interesting way. How did you guys meet?
Well, the first time I saw Louise, she had a green nose, a long nose, and a wart on it.
Oh.
That's his head removed.
She was playing Witchy Poo in one of those costume character shows of H.R. Puffin stuff, and I didn't know her name, but I thought she had a lot of charisma. And I was running children's television at ABC at the time, and so the Croft brothers and I were doing some shows, and I said, how about the girl who played Witchy Poo for a comedian role? And I followed her career for the next 25 years, and then 15 years ago, I was bringing I was coming to pick up my brain injured son in New York to take him to Canada, and he was all excited about that. And at the last minute, the meeting to Canada was canceled. I said, I tell you what, we'll go to a Broadway show. We went to a show called Dream Stuff, starring Louise DuArt. We met backstage afterwards.
When we saw each other, Governor, we both knew we were going to get married.
You're kidding.
We just did.
Yeah.
We went out for coffee afterwards, and we've had coffee every day since.
Every day since.
Wow.
A real blessing.
But now here is the extraordinary God wink and divine alignment. That meeting that was canceled in Canada was divinely aligned perfectly with the closing of her show. That was the last performance.
Yeah.
Oh, so not only was it that she was available that night to meet you, but with the closing of the show, she was available to continue to meet you after the show.
That's exactly right.
You know, I do think people tend to believe that so many incidences in life are just happenstance and they're chance encounters. And in the book that you've done, Divine Alignment, you're saying God is lining this stuff up in ways to prepare us for the people we meet, the things that we do. Give me some examples that you've seen where divine alignment takes
Well, I
place?
think that all of us have divine alignment. We are all connected by invisible threads, and that we are on this incredible GPS, God's positioning system. And we move through life, we bump into people, and we say, wow, what a coincidence. Well, I'd say that's a God wink. And then we move along and we say, gee, if I hadn't met that person, I wouldn't have gotten that job. I wouldn't have had this happen to me. Well, that is divine alignment. That is how God is moving us along toward our destiny. And I believe that if we get on our path, heading for what we believe to be our destiny, divine alignment is going to unfold. Now, I can tell you a story. Colonel Leo Thorsness, who later received a Congressional Medal of Honor, was shot down over Hanoi, and he was thrown into a POW camp. It was a terrible, terrible experience. They tried to break him, they punished him, they bent parts of his body that didn't bend. He prayed every day that he would find survival and release. Now, 9,000 miles away in Texas, there was a young girl, a 16-year-old cheerleader. She bought a $2.50 wrist bracelet. It had a POW name on it. Hers said Colonel Leo Thorsness. She took him into her heart. She wore that bracelet wherever she went, every game that she cheered at, and she prayed for him like he was a member of the family. When she saw 6 years later him getting off a plane into America and he was released, she took off the bracelet, she put it into a keepsake box. Now fast forward 40 years.
40 years.
40 years. She's invited to a Houston Astros game. She doesn't really want to go, but her husband prevails. She gets there, a 40,000-seat stadium. But imagine her delight when she sees the person, the celebrity who has been chosen to throw out the first pitch. Colonel Leo Thorsness. She said, he's my POW. I got to go meet him. Now, step number 5 in my book of divine alignment is this: step out in faith and believe that you will arrive. She stepped out in faith and went looking for him in 40,000 seats. She had all kinds of obstacles, but she finally got to a spot where she passed a note over, and pretty soon, bounding out of the seat, was Colonel Thorsness. He said, you had my POW bracelet? She said, yes. I prayed for you every night.
Amazing.
He said, it was terrible there. He said, most nights I couldn't sleep, but some nights I would sleep like a baby. Now I know why. You were praying for me. Wow. She said, you were my hero. He said, no, you were my hero. That is how divine alignment connected two individuals 40 years apart in a 40,000-seat stadium. Divine alignment is incredible. It happens in every one of our lives. If we start realizing that there are steps that we can take, we will be able to reach our destinations.
What an incredible story. The book is Divine Alignment, and I think it was divine alignment that you and Louise were here today.
Thank you.
What a joy and a privilege, and what an encouragement to everybody. And my goodness, we all need some encouragement these days. I hope you will get yours. The book is called Divine Alignment. SQuire Rushnell.